Hi, this is Jeffrey Kurt Financial Group. Today's Wednesday, April 23, 2025. Lots of excitement in the financial markets. Just as a review, down huge on Monday. Big bounce yesterday, and so far, big bounce today, although we've come off the highs. I'm doing this around noon on Wednesday. The Dow was up over 1,000 at one point. It's pulled back, and it's just a big move in day and a half, being Tuesday, Wednesday. So, I would expect some sort of consolidation or leveling off here a little bit given the move. But again, we were deeply oversold after Monday's trading. In the stocks oversold, dollar oversold, gold was overbought, volatility was at the high end. So this contra trade, if it is just a contra trade, is from Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhat expected, but pretty natural too. To start the day, though, I think it's still interesting. Even after the big move yesterday, the big averages were down year to date. The Dow was down 8% to start today. S&P down about 10%. NASDAQ down over 15%. Russell, the small companies, down over 15% as well. Two things that stuck out to me, though: the transportation average is down over 16%. And does that matter? It's usually an economic sensitive area, and that's been corrected quite a bit, sold off quite a bit, and utilities are actually up 4%. So that just want to point those two out. So what do I think that happens from here? I think the bounce again from oversold, and just there's been a lot of pessimism. Even though I talked about the complacency earlier this week, that's more of a short-term thing. I think from an intermediate to longer term, there's a lot of pessimism, somewhat expected and natural, but it's already been kind of priced in. So maybe we get some sort of stability and a reduction in the volatility, and maybe there's some pockets to look at to buy. I still think the market is overpriced, and I think the other thing that's going on is that there's going to be a lot of change to our systems. The bounce yesterday was because assigned to Trump saying he's not going to fire Powell, and that this potential trade deal is going to happen with China, and some maybe some softening of the stance on tariffs. But despite that, I think there's going to still be a lot of change. A smaller government, perhaps, and the spending from Washington that goes into the economy may get reduced. And again, that I think is a big adjustment. Going back to Scott Besant's term, the economy and the markets have to detox from the spending from the federal government. So I still think those things present risks for the markets, both bond market and stock market, and the whole global trading system too. So thank you for listening. If we can help, give me a call, a text, email, and please keep the questions and comments coming. We enjoy them. Thank you again. We're back on Friday. Goodbye.